Hello, all my friends out there in wonderful Cyberland. This is Julie Hedges, and we're going to have a quick cosmic conversation. This is an unplanned, totally spontaneous video right here in the middle of Venus retrograde. So what does that mean? What is Venus retrograde? Well, Venus is the planet of love and money and pleasure, what we enjoy and even what we don't enjoy. And every 18 months, she goes retrograde in her cycle. So retrograde simply means to go backward from our vantage point. She's not really going backward, but it just appears that way. And so what happens during that retrograde time, and she spends about 42 days in retrograde, and in that time it's all about review of our values, of our relationships, of our balance, what we enjoy, what we don't enjoy. Hi Rob, he's saying how apropos, I'm listening to Sun Ra. Okay, awesome. Yes, having a cosmic conversation. And so I just wanted to take a minute this evening to come to you and do a little update about Venus retrograde and what she is bringing to us to learn. It's all about your values. What do you value? This evening I was out, I'm still out, as you can see. I decided to go for a walk because it's balmy, it's humid, but it's very temperate. With the breeze, it feels about 76-ish, even though it's probably about, low 80s. But with that breeze, it does feel much, much better. So I decided to go for a walk and fill my lungs with that good, beautiful breath. Since about March, when we've been experiencing what's going on in the world, I'm not going to say it, and most recently it's all been about the breath, breathing. And it's interesting that Venus, the goddess of love and money and value and enjoyment and relationships, is currently retrograde in the sign of Gemini, which rules the lungs, which rules our system of taking in that life-giving breath. When people talk to me about astrology, or they ask me about astrology, they say, ooh, the stars and the planets, they rule your life. And I quickly love to share that the planets are not at all rulers of what happens down here on terra firma, but they are reflectors of, they are supporters of, they are, signposts of the energetic awareness that we can tap into. And so, yes, those of us who are sensitive, those of us who are seekers and seers and mystics know that as above, so below. What's happening up there, swirling around, is reflected down here. So the whole idea of breathing and bringing in that breath and being able to breathe in our two lungs, Gemini, the twins, rules the lungs, rules that area of our bodies, that area, that working, that energetic working of our bodies, the breath, taking in that breath. So I wanted to come out and really spend some time in the nice, fresh air. It has been way too hot during the day. Today was much more temperate. There was a breeze. This is actually my second walk of the day. And with my own kind of strange, I don't know what you want to call it, my own strange energetic workings since about March, when all of this started, with everything going on in the world. My own energy and my own balance has been kind of bouncing up and down like a basketball. And I'm having to take a look at valuing what my body is saying, rather than me just wanting to plow through and just keep on a schedule like the train, toot toot, the train has to meet this schedule. And yes, there are responsibilities that I have, and I take my responsibilities very seriously. But I'm also wanting to honor what my body is saying. And my body said, we need to get out in that fresh air. And so that's what I did this evening. And I wanted to just come to you with a short message about Venus retrograde and what she's offering to us. So this time, from until June the 25th, on June the 25th, she stops in her tracks and turns around and moves forward again. But what she's doing right now is helping to stir up the silt in the bottom of our psyches. How about that? Hi, Neshi. Thank you for jumping on for this quick cosmic conversation. So Venus is stirring up the waters down below, where we have maybe let our own values settle. And maybe we've let our enjoyments and our desires settle down there behind other things, even good intentioned things. But this is the time to come up for a breath, to bring up Venus values back into our awareness, to breathe in what you want to breathe in, to stir up your own values and revaluing and reviewing all of those things. Like I shared earlier, we have every 18 months this opportunity to look at our values in a way that only Venus presents. And this is one of those times. And right now, she's doing her work in the very intellectual and intuitive and conscious way of using the air sign of Gemini. So there's a consciousness behind what we can do with this work. So I just invite you to take a look at that. What's interesting about Venus is her pattern in the sky resembles, well, she's also called the flower of life, because her pattern that she takes is every 8 years she makes a complete 5-petaled flower in the sky. Yeah, it's really, really beautiful. And every 8 years she is repeating the same cycle. So while you're reviewing your own values and thinking about what you value and wanting to take in that breath of life, you can also kind of think, where were you 8 years ago this time? In June, in May and June, a little bit of July. Where were you? What was your consciousness back then? What kind of shifts and changes did you go through in your value system back then? That might give you a little clue to things that might be coming up again. Or also give you some clues about, look how far you've come. Yeah. So just a quick share tonight. And I value all of you who come on to be part of this cosmic conversation. And I will see you for my hour-long live stream in just a week. Cosmic Conversations with Julie Hedges on Monday, June the 15th. And I'm going to have 3 special guests. You'll find out soon who they are. It's going to be an awesome panel, so please join me for that. And as always, Om Tat Sat. That's a Sanskrit phrase. Om Tat Sat. I am that I am. I love that. I am that. I am that I am. So make sure, in my suggestion, make sure the I am that you're putting out there is something good and positive and reinforcing your value of you. Good night.